Very good morning, jury members and colleagues. The second presentation I'll be presenting is regarding the Cyber Cell Bangalore of Railway Protection Force. So Cyber Cell is a very new initiative which has been happening. We were completely dependent on the cyber cells or cyber units or CID of the states. RPF did not have a cyber cell, and we understand that with growing technology evolution and the challenges that we are going to face in the future in railway security also, establishment of cyber cells is very, very important. So therefore, the first thing that we did is we went into knowledge transfer from the state cyber cells. So Bangalore has a very good cyber cell by the CID, which has been set up by the state CID unit. So we went for a knowledge transfer. There was a knowledge transfer for about 1 month. We understood what are the things that we need specifically. We started the operation of our cyber cell in the initial phases. We got selected people who have expertise and understanding of the cyber, who are hands-on coders. Not only the person who will just, randomly we didn't pick up the person. So we put up people who are hands-on coders who will understand the entire cyber ethos. And in doing so, we established one of the first state-of-the-art cyber labs of the entire southern zone in railways. And we connected with our face recognition system, the AI-powered system called the RPF-1. One stands for the Omnipresent Network Ensemble. It is basically the first railway specific face recognition system in the country. We did a POC for 9 months, because generally when you talk about FRS, there'll be a lot of companies who will come and tell you that we can provide you FRS. Their FRS systems, which are set up in airports, require you to stand in front of the camera for at least 10 seconds. And the error percentage in the FRS is quite high. The company. So we invited both private and public sector companies, their technologies, to come and demonstrate FRS in Bengaluru. For 9 months, we did the field trial. We got their cameras, we connected it with the database of the state, the railway criminals, and we conducted 10 experiments. Like if somebody comes with the hood, with the burqa, with sunglasses, old pictures of 10 years, because the database generally contains pictures which are very old. So old pictures and children, because of the height, in terms of light, mobility, etc. So we did 10 experiments over 9 months in all the technologies, which said that we can demonstrate FRS. In the end, we panned down to a tech specification. That tech specification was approved by the general manager and the railway board. And then we went ahead with FRS and RPF-1. RPF-1 is India's first AI-powered RPF omnipresent system, where all of our tech systems, that is not only our FRS cameras, but high-definition CCTV cameras, the under-vehicle scanners, the baggage scanners, the body-worn cameras, everything is connected towards one AI-powered system, which also has a mobile app. So if you just put in the database, like we have connected the database, so if you put in the database, it will give you a simulation, and it will give you a pop-up regarding, okay, so there's a history sheeter in the station. You may like to keep a watch, or there's a person who's doing a recce of all the stations, all the platforms in the station, so on multiple stations. So there are certain algorithms according to our need that we got it done, and that is connected to our cyber cell. This is the hardware software. I would not be talking too much about hardware and software. Notable cases. So we inaugurated our cyber cell, ma'am and sir, on 15th August 2020, that is last year during the pandemic. And since then, cyber cell in Bengaluru have been able to generate 1163 case inputs with actionable inputs, where arrests have been made across the country in all RPF units in the nation. 3 important cases came. One is the All India e-ticketing racket, where the IRCTC, that is the ticketing system of the country, which is used by Indian Railways, that was compromised by Pakistani nationals. And one person who was running his operations from Dubai, his name was, he was a wanted criminal by CBI. His name was Hamid Ashraf. So we got him finally after a year-long operation. We sent out a lookout notice, and then he was arrested in Bengaluru. Subsequently taken to Uttar Pradesh, where a lot of gangster act and other cases were there. He got properties worth 100 crores, 60 crores in UP and 44 crores in Mumbai, which were attached and seized by the Mumbai and UP police. that man was basically compromising the Indian Railway e-ticketing system and blocking the system and generating e-tickets and giving it to his own foot soldiers. And he had created like Naxals. He had created like a cadre of people. So they were panelists. The developer was called the software person who was having the panel was called the developer. Then the person who was operating the panel was called panelist. There was a seller, and finally the foot agents whom earlier RPF used to book cases on under the 143 section of Railways Act. So his arrest was one of the big breakthroughs and first breakthroughs of RPF cyber cell. Second was we identified 3 Pakistani nationals who are still operating in the Kahuta province of Pakistan. Same thing, they have moved the business because there have been so many arrests in India. After the first case, they have moved the business there. We have informed the law enforcement agencies, RNAW and IB in Delhi through our railway board, and also the IB units here in Bangalore. That was a second big breakthrough by Cybercell. Apart from that, fake identity rackets, where recently we got another racket where they are using this pre-identified SIM. The KYC of the bank accounts is already done. The KYC of the SIM is already done, and they're selling it on a mass scale to people. So this can be used for all, not only for railway security crimes, but all sorts of heinous crimes. That racket was unearthed, and currently an operation is going on in Dhanbad, where we have provided an input to nab that criminal. So Bangalore Cyber Cell, what I wanted to say is generating.
Sorry for the interruption, ma'am. Kindly conclude your presentation in next 2 minutes.
Right. So Bangalore Cyber Cell is generating inputs for pan-India inputs, for actionable inputs, for catching criminals, which is not only of railway security, any other cyber inputs that we gave. We are also helping out our other systems in the state. And this is in a very nascent state. We have just completed 1 year, and they have been able to make very good breakthroughs in the last 1 year. And we will focus on moving ahead with it. Apart from this, as per Railway Board directions, we are having cyber cells initiated in all zonal railways. And we are all working in tandem to propel good cyber railway security. And also because in the coming future days, with the evolution of technology, the railway systems are moving towards the cyberspace. So the operation of the trains, the signaling network of railways, everything is digitized, and that can be a big threat to the national security if compromised. So we will be expanding our base into protecting those assets as well. Thank you so much.
I think this is also very interesting work, and you must be getting a lot of satisfaction when you are providing results in nabbing a criminal. So, but face recognition is only one part. And as you rightly said, it must be very difficult because the person might have changed, maybe a different makeup, or the children might have grown and all that. So you must be having something else, not only the face, but something else like the gait, the behavioral thing, or some kind of facial expressions like that. So that you are using through the AI model, or you have got extra additional input for them?
No, ma'am, we are using on both ways. It's a two-pronged approach. We are having manual behavioral recognition also, and we are also using AI-powered behavioral recognition, gait recognition, as you said, gesture recognition. A lot of private sector industries are using gesture recognition nowadays, and it is not. So when we started about FRS in 2018, we were pushing this issue. A lot of people told us कि बड़ा नया issue, it's a very new thing you're talking about. So we had to convince them it's not a new thing. It's been used since 1965. The private sector is done with face recognition. They are now into mood recognition, gesture recognition. And we should be, as law enforcement agencies, we should be more adaptable to change, more, we should understand and evolve with times. And using technology only, ma'am, we can leverage that. We have understood that we can only leverage our manpower. Manpower is not going to increase. We have to use technology as a force multiplier.
Yeah, with the existing manpower. Very good, very good.
Thank you, ma'am.
This is an excellent effort, what you have done. and I think you have got very good outcomes. But like in all cop and criminal environment, there is always there is a race of outsmarting the other. So I think this is a continuous effort, and you have to keep on improving and adopting new technologies as you go on, because the criminals will be always a step they will try to be a step ahead at any time. I think you will have to keep doing this. I think it's an excellent effort and really deserves good appreciation.
Thank you so much, sir. Yes, indeed, sir. We need to continuously improve ourselves. The cat and mouse game. We will improve, and they'll find a way, and then we'll find a way, and it has to, like, continuously we have to evolve. And that's why I said, sir, we got 4 people in the cyber cell who are hands-on coders, so who can understand the ethos, appreciate the ethos, and it's not something which we are forcing on them. They understand and they appreciate, and they are working on improving themselves every now and then, sir.